we've got a special guest before we get to the scouting report and film today for South Florida. We've got and our special guest is Troy Schielein, who's had like 8 tours of duty as a military person. I mean, he's wanted to come in and speak to us, and all I can think about is like, man, I mean, that's a big deal. And from my standpoint, my father was in the Korean War. My brother was over in Desert Storm, and so it touches my heart. And I got to tell you, Troy, I went to probably the last movie I saw. I don't know, it was Brad Pitt's movie. I don't know what the name of it. I can't remember. I got dragged out. Was it?
Yeah, Fury.
I mean, it was like, just think about the military. It's like, man, so you're talking about courage, you talk about heart, you talk about preparation, okay, and being in a foxhole and having to be disciplined. Troy's had to do that. And let's give him a nice welcome.
How are we all doing today? Good. I'm not going to take much time because you got films to watch and you got game tomorrow, which I'll be here as well. I'm not from the area. When I retired from the Marine Corps about 3 years ago, after about 22 years of active duty, my wife's from here, so you got to do some things nice. So I come to Detroit area. I live out just north of Detroit. I ran the River Rouge. I don't know if you know where River Rouge is at. Their Marine Corps High School Cadet Program. And then I was blessed to be offered this position as a director for Wayne County Veterans Affairs out of the Wounded Warrior Division over at the Dingle VA Hospital in Detroit. It's an honor to talk to you because, believe it or not, I played college ball. Guess what sport it wasn't? It wasn't basketball. All right? Little height-wise, right? But they also called me Traveling Troy in high school with 1 year I played. That's a true story. So I never lived it down. I just thought I'd stick with football. So I played a couple years of ball and football or in college. Was kind of a bored individual. I'm another country boy that was raised pretty good, but still an idiot. And I decided that I was learning more about the judicial system than I was my college education. Nothing really serious, but enough to where the school said, hey, you don't need any more free ride, bye. So I decided what to do, join the Marine Corps. And here I am, thank God. I did 22 years, I don't know if you know what MARSOC is, recon, infantry stuff, special operations. And I was also a drill instructor at Parris Island, where they go to become Marines if they make it. Today I'm just going to talk a few minutes about the connection that you all have in your lives, or you should have, in relation and how similar that is to the military life. Though we have different experiences, the concepts are the same. We have leadership principles in the Marine Corps called, and we call it, you know what an acronym is? And when you got to learn a lot of stuff, Marine Corps lives off acronyms. I'm sure you do too. So we have an acronym called JJ, did, tie, buckle. Justice, judgment, discipline, initiative, decisiveness, tact, integrity, enthusiasm, bearing, unselfishness, courage, knowledge, loyalty, and endurance. If you take every one of those and apply them to your life, I guarantee you, whether it's on or off the court, you're going to succeed. I'm going to talk about a few of those things and kind of relate it in some of my experiences, and you can probably relate it to some of yours. Bearing, all right, we all have bearing sometimes we don't. That's all important, but I want to focus on the things that are really similar and detriment to your success. Discipline. Discipline is a thing that you must have. Now, you can have a coach put his boot in your tail every day, okay, as they should. But no one's going to be able to do it when you go on your own. If you've had the privilege of having good parents that kept that boot deep, then you were lucky. I have 6 kids. 21, 19, 18, 15, 11, and 2. 3 girls, 3 boys. Wow. Best blessing of my life. But they're in a culture shock half the time, and the older they get, the worse it gets, because you got to have them understand what's important in life. Discipline will link you to your success as a human being. Whether that is basketball, but I like to live with the reality of, hey, great if you make it, but prepare if you don't. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And have that education and discipline to fall back on. Without discipline, you will fail. Without discipline, your team will fail. Without discipline, your family will fail. Without discipline, society will fail. Discipline has enough intestinal fortitude to put yourself through the pain. There's physical pain and there's mental pain. You know that. If you can handle the mental pain, physical will go away. And we have different experiences, yes. If you took me out to run suicides right now, as lazy as I've been since I retired, I'd probably puke, fall out, but I'd go until I pass out, and you'd be laughing at me. Look at him. But then I've been through schools to where it's called SEER school, Special Forces Invasion, Resistance, and Escape, where they hook you up to electricity and shock you so bad that none of your bodily functions are controlled until you defecate all over yourself, piss all over yourself, as they're trying to get information only that you know. That's a school, 3 weeks long. So, same principle of discipline. Okay. Well, of all those words I said, if you can remember, what else do you think in those J.J. did type buckle that we would have a similarity with? Integrity? What is integrity? What's integrity? In your own terms. There's no fancy word for it. Believe me, I only wear this crap because I got to go to work. All right? Integrity is honesty, right? Doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do when nobody's looking. That's also discipline. Discipline is when your coach can't be with you. I can't be with my kids 24/7. My 18-year-old is already enlisted. He's leaving 28 days after he graduates from high school. That was his choice. But I can't hawk him, and my daughters especially, well, I do follow them with weapons sometimes, just to make sure, I stay covered and concealed, just to make sure they're safe. But after a while, you're going to be out on your own, and the discipline is really, and the integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's watching you. And that truly is your success as well as your coaches and your parents. Unselfishness is huge. Society today is about the most selfish that it ever has been. I'd like to say that it ever will be, but I doubt that's going to happen. Society today, in my opinion, is very unselfish. Though it's still the best society in the world, we are unselfish. We are not unselfish. It is the most selfish. Let me fix that. Everybody's about me. My kids, my younger kids, what's the youngest here? 18? Who's 18 anyway? 19? Okay. Even younger than that, I call them the WIFM generation. W-I-F-M. What's in it for me? And you've seen, and most of you might know, Coach Senior, Bob Miller's father, sitting down in a court, 88 years old, coached here for 40 years, pitched to the Phillies in the 1950 World Series. An amazing history, fought in the Battle of New Guinea and the Philippines in World War II. That's history. That's the history you should want to be. That's the history I hope to be, but we'll never be like that. The greatest generation will never be duplicated again. And I know you all have grandparents. Almost every one of you have grandparents or great-grandparents that fought in those wars. They had all the things we're talking about. I want to talk about courage. There's 2 types of courage. Anybody think about it? 2 types of courage. Throw anything out there. I'll answer for you because I don't want the coach to be late on his film.
Fake.
Huh?
Fake.
That is part, yeah, there's a lot of fake courage. I call it what do we call that, the airlap guy? Or the liquid courage? Or how about the Facebook courage? They're all over the internet. Oh, kid, and then woo, well, a mouse, how many miles, thousands of miles away. It's really tough. Physical courage and mental courage. Physical courage and moral courage. Out of physical courage and moral courage, which do you think is the harder one? Moral. Now I'm just going to take a stab out here, just by asking some questions that I had before I come in here. I'm pretty much guessing that a few of you probably rose up in a tough neighborhood. I'm guessing. Even if you didn't, younger generations have a lot of moral challenges these days because everything's right here in your face. everything, whether it be sexually related, violently related, it doesn't matter. It's in your face. So you have a lot more, the angel on this side, the devil on this side, you got a lot more devil weight sometimes pulling you, and you evidently have gone down the right path for whatever reason that may be. Even if you've had great parents, you've made it here because of you. Because you could have decided to do whatever you wanted to do. So you've had the moral courage to make the right decisions. Making the wrong decisions is sometimes fun, but never rewarding and very easy to make. Loyalty, you have loyalty to each other. You have loyalty to your team. You have loyalty to your coach. You have loyalty to your institution. You have loyalty to your family. If you have loyalty to doing the right thing and giving it your 100% at all times, all that will come together. Now, your loyalty and dedication to each other on the basketball court is one thing. And if you're going to succeed as a team, you've got to have it off the court as well. And I'm sure, or at least I'm hoping that you do. If you need somebody, you're out and doing something, you need to help, or I don't care what it is, one of you's got to be there. No, I can't come, man. I can't come. That's not loyalty. That's not family. Loyalty, here's the story of my loyalty. We're in the Battle of Al-Naziriyah, March 23rd, 2003. About 09 in the morning, 9 a.m. I have 34 dead Marines. I have 33 at that time. Dead Marines already. We've already killed several thousand of them, so guess what? We win. But I got to take an 18-year-old kid, your age, as he's taking his last breath, as the rounds are flying down range, bodies are still dropping. He's bleeding profusively out of his mouth and every orifice of his body. And the only thing he can think about before he takes his last breath is tell my family that I love them. That's our loyalty. So until he took the last breath and before he did, I said, I will seek revenge 100 times fold for you. And we did. That's loyalty. You should be able to go to each other to the end of the world. Not in that drastic life and death situation, hopefully not, but in your everyday life and your commitment. Enthusiasm is important. Endurance. There's two types of endurance. And I'm going to end it here in a few minutes. Two types of endurance. What are they?
Physical and mental. Physical and mental.
Bam. Physical and mental endurance. Physical, obviously, you work out a lot. You got to last the whole game. Okay? And there's different types of endurance, different types of sports. Everything's different. The mental endurance is what usually gets everybody. I've seen in a recon community a kid come in that could run like the wind, swim like a fish. Wasn't scared when we jumped out to the aircraft we did. Wasn't scared of nothing. But he failed because even though he was genetically gifted, he had no heart. He had zero. Then somebody would send me a kid who's a little overweight, well, for a Marine, and he'd say, he wants to try out for recon. Now the NDOC, initial physically, on about 3 hours sleep, is about 16 hours long. Non-stop. You don't eat. We just keep them hydrated. They pass out, we wake them up, and they keep going. If they pass out in the pool and start to drown, we get them out, they start over. This kid literally passed out in the pool and said, hell of it, I'm dying. And he went down to the bottom, and we got him. I'll take somebody like that with heart and desire, because if they have that, they can overcome any physical thing that they have to endure. Any challenge whatsoever. So you got to have the heart. Okay? All right, I could go on and on and on, but I know you got films to watch and a team. Who is it tomorrow? South Florida?
South Florida, yeah.
I'll be here watching. Be a little midget compared to everybody else walking around probably, right? I just want you to understand how good of a life you have. And the only one that controls your destiny is you. Your coach can guide you, your parents can guide you. You can have the best in the world. Only you determine your success. The last note is, before I came here today, I was at a house in Inkster. And I'm one, if a Marine's not bitching, he ain't happy. That's just the way it is. That's just our saying, But all of us in life think, I just had a rough day, and today was, it's terrible, and I got going through this, it sucks, I got no money, or my grades are terrible, or me and my girlfriend broke up. I dropped off a Christmas tree at a house of a 50-year-old woman, a veteran of the Army. Before I walked in, she died. Her daughter is 30 years old today. Also has stage 4 cancer. Just hoping to make it past Christmas here in a couple weeks with her 6-year-old and 13-year-old. That's life. So when we think about how rough a day we got, there's always somebody worse. And that's where you got to reach down inside that gut and that heart and that intestinal fortitude and say, screw it, and hit it. And in the end, if you gave your 100%, I used to tell my Marines and sailors, if you can look in the eyes of the parents, of the children, of the fallen, of the spouses, of the widows, of your dead Marines, if you can look them in the eye and say that I 100% gave my most physical and mental dedication to them, to bring them home alive, but it just wasn't in God's plan, you are still a success. It's not fun, but it's still a success. If you lose and you gave your 100%, it sucks, but it's still a success. The failure is looking in the mirror and not being able to tell yourself. And you can't lie in the mirror. If you can, you probably got a mental problem, you need to go see someone. Look in the mirror, you can't lie, and if you didn't give 100%, then that's your fault. Every day is up to you. Got it? Every day is a new day. All right? Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.